Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman, and our next guests in the studio, I'm going to introduce, and it's always fun to talk to two. We've got Itamar Chalif. He's the Vice President at Rockland Trust, and Janis Akerstrom, who is the Director of the Office of Economic and Community Development with the town of Middleborough. Welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Yes.
Well, I appreciate having you on. Tell us a little bit about the Middleborough Business Resource Center and what it's all about, and how folks can tap into it.
Well, I guess I'll start. The Middleborough Business Resource Center is an office. It's a resource for new businesses or expanding businesses or people that want to bring their businesses to Middleborough. It's an opportunity for those folks to get assistance in several areas: financial assistance, entrepreneurial expertise from professionals, lots of other ways that they can receive help through to grow and expand their business through the resources that we can provide to them and send them to.
How did this come about? I think you were just about to talk about how it was originally conceived, but again, I think in a town of, and I don't know what the population of Middleborough is. I know that it's got a large footprint, but a relatively small population. So how did this come about in a town of Middleborough size?
Itamar, do you want to take that?
We've been meeting for quite some time, looking for different avenues to improve the business environment in Middleborough, and to make Middleborough as a whole a place to that for businesses that's easy for business to do business in and with. One thing I would like to add to your previous question is that one of the primary two goals for the Middleborough Business Resource Center, one is to be a one-stop shop where businesses can reach out to get information about pretty much every state or federal program that is available to them. May it be special training programs, financing, grants, anything that's available either through the state or federal resources. And the second reason for this is to provide, let me back up for a second, small business owners being fear of spending money, they refrain from using professional advice. They refrain from using people like yourself, they refrain from using attorneys, CPAs, and they do things themselves and get themselves in trouble. So we have gathered about 25, close to 30 individuals with different professions: marketing, attorneys, CPAs, architects, real estate people, HR, that are willing to donate 3 hours of their time to any business, no questions asked, no strings attached. So if a business that comes to the realization that they got some kind of a challenge, they can reach out to Janis, and she can introduce them to one of those individuals, and they'll give them 3 hours of their time, no questions asked. If they have to execute work, they'll execute work. And it will allow the business an opportunity to get a taste of what that type of service is and to understand the value, and hopefully decide not to do it themselves, because usually that's not the right way to do it.
Now, is there a limit to the number of 3-hour interactions that a business can have? So if I've got a host of issues, wonderful.
There isn't.
But they cannot tap into the same discipline twice. They cannot jump from one attorney to another, get 25 free hours.
One of the things I'd like to add, if I could, to what Itamar is saying is that I see this as a wonderful opportunity to also simplify the process of having to work with government. Within our office, because we're a municipal government, we're municipal, and we also represent the business side of it. Not only are we providing resources to the new businesses, expanding businesses, to help them in their area of need, we are also then kind of hand-holding them through any kind of process they need with the government, whether it be permitting or anything to do with expanding their business locally. So we're kind of working, it's a municipal, it's a government and private sector partnership, which has come together to ease the transition for all these businesses in any area that you can think of to help them grow and expand in Middleborough. And you had mentioned, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No,
please.
It's fascinating you mentioned, because I think a lot of businesses don't necessarily take into consideration some of the requirements. I think many people think about federal and state. They don't think about municipal, and obviously, depending on the type of business or the municipality, there may be a lot of regulatory needs, or at least certifications or things in place. Great to have a one-stop shop that can help guide people through. And I think to Itamar's point, doing it correctly, much better to do it right the first time than face the consequences of making mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Janis, you were going to add something when I interrupted.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just getting back to your statistics because I think much of what we're looking at now with new businesses coming in and expansions is the growth of Middleborough. The population is about 24,000, and to what you had mentioned earlier, it's not necessarily well known as a place for people to come to outside of Boston. We're on the South Shore. We are a place that's affordable for purchasing, for business, for real estate.
What a concept in Massachusetts.
I know, it's really, and to that point, is drawing people like crazy, and housing, and we're getting a new rail station in, and I can get into that later, but it really is an up and coming place with lots of land available.
So in terms of opportunities in Middleborough, and you mentioned there's a lot of land available, I would imagine there are probably some office park type settings, or is it largely, are there any particular industries that you're seeing either an influx of, or types of businesses that are coming in and looking for services?
Well, on a larger scale, of course, we're becoming the cannabis capital. We've got quite a lot of cannabis development here. In the south part of the town. We have about 4 industrial parks, which are actually already filled. Much of our land being agricultural and residential, as I think we have 72 square miles. That's open for rezoning. Should the need be as we grow, there'll probably be some sort of attempt at rezoning several of those areas to accommodate business growth. So, we're at a stage right now where I believe growth is imminent and change is imminent. So accommodating new business, I think the door is open for new business.
Excellent. So to that point, if people want to get involved with your organization, I would imagine you're open to additional volunteers if you've got some gaps, and or if people want to reach out and find more about how they would engage with you as either a business or an entrepreneur. I would imagine you work with people that are pre-business. They have a concept, but they have to get off they want to get off the ground. Would you provide guidance and advice? So how do people engage with you? What's the process look like? How do they reach out to you?
Well, they could reach out to us through our website. It's mbresourcecenter.com, mbresourcecenter.com, or they can get a hold of me at 508-946-2402. And when we get a business, they will more than likely meet with myself and Itamar for initial discussion to see what their needs are. And from there, we will connect them with the correct professionals that they need to see.
And I would imagine that the engagement process is fairly quick. If somebody has a need, it's not the type of thing where they've got to wait around for months and months and months. You're a fast-moving para-government organization that allows people to engage quickly and move quickly.
It's pretty simple. When we do the initial conversation, and sometimes, often, a business think that they have a specific issue, but when you start having a conversation, you realize that it's broader and they need some different services. So the initial conversation is important for that process to take place. But once we identify the needs, then we can introduce them to the proper advisors. We will introduce them to 2 different advisors that they can reach out to them. We will let the advisors know to expect a phone call or an email, but it will be up to the business owner to reach out to those advisors, and they can interview them over the phone to decide which one is the person that they feel more comfortable working with, and then they can meet with them, and that's when the 3 hours starts, when they actually either meet with them in person via Zoom or whatever the case may be.
Excellent.
Very simple. Very simple.
Excellent.
No commitment.
So it sounds like you have developed this wonderful organization, and sounds like you're well on your way towards helping the town of Middleborough develop their economic base. And kudos to both of you. It's never easy getting something off the ground, and even that much more difficult in the midst of a global pandemic, I'm sure.
Yes.
So kudos to you. Our guests this morning have been Itamar Chalif, Vice President of Rockland Trust, and Janis Akerstrom, Director of the Office of Economic and Community Development for the town of Middleborough. We thank you for joining Radio Entrepreneurs, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate the
And
opportunity.
we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.